Welcome to All Wheel Driven, a podcast by Audi Club North America, where we explore all things Audi and the incredible people who bring it to life. All Wheel Driven is presented by XPEL, the official paint protection film of Audi Club. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of All Wheel Driven. I am your host, Joe Kaczynski. Each month, we dive into the latest Audi headlines, and we offer both a recap and our perspective on the stories that are impacting the Audi brand. Today's episode, we're going to focus on the debut of the new Audi A6 Allroad. We're going to talk about the Pikes Peak 2026 event and preview some additional Pikes Peak coverage that we have coming up. We're also going to look ahead to the Goodwood Festival of Speed and the Audi Lucca that will be there on display and running up the hill. And we're also going to do a check-in on the Audi Formula One season so far and some momentum that the Audi brand has been gathering lately, both on the racetrack and in the showrooms with some exciting new products. So we have a lot to cover today. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting with the new Audi A6 Allroad that was just announced a couple of weeks ago. So the biggest news with the new A6 Allroad is that it is coming to America. We don't have specific release dates as of yet, but it will be here. Unlike the RS5 Avant that we're begging for, and maybe it'll come, maybe it won't, the new A6 Allroad should be on American soil. So that's good news. The other good news is, boy, it looks great, doesn't it? They really designed it to be more aggressive than any regular Allroad has in the past. It looks more like an RS car than a traditional Allroad car. So it's really exciting to look at. I'm sure it'll be exciting to drive as well. We're anxiously awaiting an opportunity to drive the new A6 Allroad. But from just the pictures of it, it looks fantastic. It is widened by, I think, 4.5, almost 4.5 inches, 4.4 inches compared to the regular A6 Avant, and 3.3 inches over the previous generation A6 Allroad. So it's definitely bulked up quite a bit. And you could see that with some functional air vents that are on the side behind those front wheels that really emphasize, the new width of the car that it has. So certainly looks menacing. What will be powering it? We don't know for certain. Again, we haven't gotten any U.S. specs for it, but most likely we'll be getting, the 3-liter gas engine that we see in the regular A6 sedan. In Europe, there's a couple other engine options, including a diesel that is likely not going to be coming to the States. But that's okay. If we get the regular A6 engine in this car, I think that'll be fine. That engine makes over 360 horsepower, 362, over 400 pound-feet of torque. Should be plenty to get the Allroad down the road and off the road in some cases when appropriate. So should be plenty of motivation under the hood. As far as inside the car, it will probably be mostly standard A6 fare. The newest generation, of course, from the sedan will largely carry over to the inside of the new Allroad. You've got, so that's going to give you the 14.5-inch touchscreen. You're going to get the 4-zone climate control and massaging seat availability. The only new thing is on the infotainment screen. Apparently, it will have the ability to show you some off-road data, such as like your pitch and roll angles, things that are not displayed on a regular A6 sedan. If you're looking at roll angles on an A6 sedan, you're probably in some trouble. So we'll keep that to the Allroad. The Allroad is also going to have an adaptive air suspension, so you'll have a little more than an inch of additional ground clearance in regular drive modes. There's also going to be an off-road and off-road plus setting, which will raise it by about another 0.6 of an inch. So all in, you could raise it over 2 inches. Raise the suspension over 2 inches if you're traveling, doing some light off-roading. Looks like a great car. Should be a home run for Audi. Everybody's always talking about bringing Audi wagons here to the States. This one's coming. It looks like a winner. Just kind of a string of winners that Audi's been revealing lately, and we'll talk about a little bit more about that later on. But we're certainly excited about the new A6 Allroad, and we'll be sharing more information about that as soon as it becomes available to us, and then hopefully some driving impressions once we get our turn behind the wheel. So moving on from the Allroad, very recently the 2026 running of Pikes Peak took place. Our previous all-wheel driven episode, we spoke to Alex Kim, who competed in the 2026 race. It was his second year competed for the first time last year in the 2025 event. For those that missed that episode, certainly encourage you to go back and give it a watch. But quick recap for you. Alex started like a lot of us as a young man, just bitten by the car bug. He started out in high school as a drag racer, actually drag racing his parents his parents' Audi, and that got him into kind of the competition mode, and it got him into the Audi racing mode. He got hooked ever since. He started trying to catch clips of the Group B rally racing whenever he could, and that was it from that point. Once you see that as a young man, that's gonna draw you in almost every time. So he became deeply involved in the Audi community at a young age, and then as he matured and as his career matured and he had more opportunities, he got some more serious Audis. He started getting Audis of his own instead of borrowing his parents' car. And then he began to compete, began to do some racing, NASA, SCCA, and then finally that all led up to the Pikes Peak competition last year in an Audi Sport Quattro S1 E2 tribute car that he had custom built for him for competition. So it was a very exciting moment. Kind of came full circle for him from stealing his dad's Audi to go drag racing to having his own tribute Audi rally car. And if you're going to have any kind of a tribute car, the S1 is certainly the one to have. So he went out last year as a rookie. Met some of his heroes, including Michelle Mouton, who was out there, celebrating the event as well. So that was obviously a thrill for Alex to get the opportunity to meet her. As for the event itself, it was a challenge. I mean, Pikes Peak is certainly not easy. If it was easy, we'd all be running up and down that mountain ourselves. But it is not easy. Alex and his team, they were battling some weather conditions and some car conditions. So they were having a little bit of trouble keeping the car cool. So they were battling some overheating conditions, and the weather on race day was wicked. So wicked, in fact, that they ended up cutting the race short. So in 2025, Alex never actually got the opportunity to run the full course. In practice, you only run portions of the course at a time, and only on race day do you get to run the full course all the way through. But they cut the course short because of the severe weather conditions at the top of the mountain. So he really never even had the opportunity to complete a full run in 2025. So in 2026, he came back with some lessons learned from last year to keep the car cool, and some other improvements, of course. And the weather did a better job of cooperating this year as well. So he was able to complete his run. So for the first time, he was able to do the full course, which certainly was a thrill for Alex. He finished P59 overall, and he finished 19th in his class. He set a time of about 12 minutes, 26 seconds. He gave Audi enthusiasts and Audi fans, a real thrill to see that quattro S1 E2 going up the mountain once again. It's a tribute car, but unless unless you worked for Audi, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. It certainly looks exactly like the real thing. The sound, the look, everything is certainly a thrill for any Audi fan. We're sure that Alex is going to continue that journey and probably try again in 2027 with even more lessons learned after completing the course for the first time this year. So we want to congratulate Alex on his successful run and thank him for everything that he does for the Audi community. His involvement with Audi Club is certainly appreciated as well. So well done, Alex, and good luck if you get out there next year. And, the Pikes Peak coverage does not end with Alex. We will have more coverage coming up later this year. We'll be speaking to another Pikes Peak competitor. We'll be, talking about, their perspective on the race, the car that they competed in, and so forth, and why, after so many years, why does Pikes Peak continue to attract Audi enthusiasts specifically? There's a big draw to that event from the Audi community, and we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper. So stay tuned for more coverage, both here on All Wheel Driven and in our Quattro magazine. So more to come on Pikes Peak. Another historic motor event is coming up very soon. July 9 to July 12, Goodwood Festival of Speed will be happening, the 2026 edition. And Audi Tradition will be there with the Lucca. We've talked about the Lucca before, but again, as a recap for those that may have missed it. So first of all, the Audi Goodwood or the Goodwood Festival of Speed, certainly very well known, very famous event, known for supercars, Formula One cars, modern performance cars, racing up the hill. It's a sight to behold for sure. Audi is going to be there with the Lucca, which is one of the most significant cars from almost 100 years ago, from the 1930s, and it will be doing a demonstration run for the first time in public. So the Lucca was built for the top speed wars that were happening in the 1930s. Auto Union, Mercedes, everybody was battling it out for that top speed supremacy back then. Everybody was building faster and faster models. In 1935, in February of 1935, Hans Stuck piloted the Auto Union near Lucca, Italy, hence the Lucca name, where it set a flying mile record with an average speed just over 320 kilometers per hour. So almost right around 200 miles per hour in 1935. A lot of people even today haven't driven 200 miles an hour anywhere, let alone, nearly, 100 years ago, 90 years ago. So an incredible feat for the time period for sure. Audi's been committed to speed and motorsport for a very long time. Obviously, they're in Formula One today, but this predated even the first Formula One race. So they've been at it for a long time. The Lucca, had a very aerodynamic body. They used wind tunnel testing, which was kind of cutting edge technology back then, and it was powered by a 16-cylinder engine, well over 300 horsepower, 340 or so horsepower, which again seems very modest in 2026, but was quite the feat in the 1930s. Audi really put their best foot forward back then. Unfortunately, the original Lucca no longer exists. In the course of the years, it was lost. So Audi Tradition commissioned a complete recreation of that historic car. It took more than 3 years to build. They used historical photographs, engineering documents, archival materials, everything they could get their hands on to build the closest replica, most authentic replica of the Lucca that they possibly could. They completed it finally early early this year, and we're going to get to see it run for the first time in just a couple of weeks here. So it really represents the early days of Audi performance before Quattro, before RS models, before Le Mans victories, Formula One. The Lucca was there. So when we get to see it at Goodwood, it's not just watching an old race car go up the hill. It's really witnessing, one of the earliest examples of Audi's technical ambition that that kind of really still defines them today. It's something that we're really looking forward to, and it's right on our doorstep, and there'll be more to come on the Lucca as well. Sticking with the motorsports theme, we go from the 1930s to present day. Formula One. Audi has a few races under its belt now at this point. The points are hard to come by. Not unexpected. Coming into 2026, Audi really tried to keep the expectations for this season realistic. We shared that same sentiment. They said from the outset that it was going to be 2030 before they were really going to be competitive and looking to take the top step of the podium. So far, they're probably on pace for that. This is a brand new team, brand new Audi power unit. Lots of things to learn. They had shake up earlier in the season with leadership on the team, and they're still feeling their way through. But despite the lack of points, it doesn't really tell the whole story. Audi the team has been very consistently showing pace in the midfield. If a couple of breaks go the other way, they've just run into some bad luck, they would be sitting on quite a few points. Formula One racing, just like any racing, sometimes you need to have things go your way, and they are not going Audi's way right now. Eventually we'll see them hopefully convert the speed that they've shown into some points. They need to, eliminate some small mistakes, some missed opportunities that they did have, and then just try to hope for some better luck. The drivers, the engineers, they've all spoke about, the R26 race car, how competitive it is, and how they can unlock some additional performance out of the machine. And we're seeing that starting to happen. So very recently, it came to light that Audi introduced a new engine, new power unit to the car, starting in Barcelona at the Spanish Grand Prix. Came out of nowhere, and in some regards, a lot of teams were caught off guard, didn't think Audi would already be ready with an upgrade, but they were. It shows how committed the team is and how well the team is working together to make that happen. Maybe a little bit more power, but really looking to improve the drivability and the reliability of the machine. You could see even in Barcelona in that first race, it's there. Just some bad luck is keeping them out of the points at the moment. But that bad luck, things ebb and flow. It probably won't continue all season like that. I'm sure some things will start to go their way soon. But it's encouraging to see them, moving forward. Coming to the table with these upgrade plans so quickly, showing other teams that they really do mean business. If you're great giving Audi a grade right now, for the Formula One effort, it's probably incomplete. To be honest, I don't think we can give them an A or a B or an F or even a C. Right? I think it's just incomplete. We take the encouragement from their pace, from their upgrade plans, and from what we've seen of the team so far is all good. Obviously, though, at the end of the day, the name of the game is points and championships. They're not there yet, but we didn't expect them to be there. It's just exciting to see them out there competing, mixing it up in the midfield, and hopefully soon we will see the points start to roll in, and maybe even a podium here or there by the end of the season. But it's a long season, still got a way to go. Continue to talk about it and monitor how they're doing throughout the year. But so far, I think as an Audi fan, you have to overall be encouraged, maybe a little bummed that the points aren't there. But when you watch the team and you see the car on the track, it's not a back marker. It's there. When it's running, it's competitive. So the points should start to flow in for Audi. But we'll see. Got plenty of races left to go. And it's just exciting to see the cars out there competing at this point. It seemed like when it was first announced that Audi was going to be taking place in Formula One, it seemed like the day would never get here where we would actually see the cars out on track. And it's really exciting to see that today. Speaking of exciting things at Audi, it's not just Formula One. For a while, the Audi enthusiasts may have felt a little disenchanted, felt that maybe Audi lost their way a little bit. Certainly, Audi sales have reflected that. Sales have been down. We all know that. Recently, we've seen some real positive signs out of the company and some things that any Audi enthusiast can be excited about. And I think if you're not excited, you're just being overly pessimistic. I think, because there's been, in just the course of the last couple months, there's been a lot of exciting news coming out of the Audi camp, right? We've just talked about Formula One racing. That's, of course, exciting, and they're doing well enough there, and they're making some progress. We talked about the new A6 Allroad. Looks great. Looks fantastic. It's coming to America. Very exciting. Earlier this year, we talked about the new RS5 sedan and hopefully an Avant coming to the United States. We'll see. We keep begging, and it might happen. But either way, looks like a stunner. Incredible technology. The updated quattro system. It kind of makes the car handle in a way that hides its weight. It is a heavy car, but from everything we've seen and heard about the new RS5, you almost wouldn't know it the way that the car handles. So very encouraging. We've seen the interior so far of the Q9, the new 3-row SUV. That looks like it's going to be really something, and a lot of folks are really excited to see Audi compete in the large luxury SUV space against the likes of the Mercedes and Cadillac and so forth. It's a lucrative segment. It's a popular segment, and the Q9, at least from the interior, we should get to see the full reveal very soon. But even just based on the interior and what we know about that, it looks like it's going to be a heck of a machine, and it's going to bring the dynamic headlights to the United States for the first time. So there's certainly going to be some innovation with that SUV. I suspect it will be a very popular model for Audi. That should also help sales. And then you have the Q7 that was also recently revealed, and the SQ7. They look great as well. I mean, that SQ7 is powerful. That's a little Lamborghini fighter right there at a fraction of the price. It looks rugged. The power's there. We can always complain about some things, a badge or a steering wheel design or not enough buttons or things like that, and then that's fair. But I think that's a criticism that you can make about just about any automaker, all the way back through history. The new thing is always questioned. There's always going to be a group of people that aren't on board with a new model or a new technology and so forth. But overall, the Q7, Q9, RS5 all look fantastic. And then out of nowhere comes the new Volare, a car that's more powerful than the Lamborghini Temerario. 10,000 RPM, screamer, hybrid engine. Sure, it's very expensive. It is very limited production, but that's okay. We were saying for quite a while that Audi needed, they needed a halo car. They needed something. The TT is gone. The R8 is gone. The new Volare isn't going to replace those cars. It's not really meant to, but it's certainly something to get people talking about Audi again. It's certainly got incredible performance. Some folks have been, again, you could always, be negative and pick on things, and some folks don't love the way it looks. I think it looks good. I would personally, if I had the money and the allocation, I would probably not get it in that titanium color. I would give it, Imola yellow or Nogaro blue, playing around, with those colors. a little bit, and the new Volare painted in a bold color like that looks pretty good. You have to be excited about a car like that, even though chances are there's not going to be many folks that are have the opportunity to drive it, let alone own it. It may even be difficult to see. You probably just see it at shows and so forth. But still, it's out there. It's real. They're building it. It's got the 4 rings on it, so it's something to be excited about. And if they built that, maybe they build one that's kind of a 8/10 scale of it, or in some way, right? Something that is maybe a little bit more affordable, a little less power, maybe not as extreme. But if they're willing to go to bat with something like the new Volare, it's not out of the question to think that they could come to the plate with something else. They need some 2-door sports cars. We'd love to see a convertible out of them. There's some machines that we would like to see Audi build, and hopefully they will. There's still the Concept C to come. Hopefully, that's as exciting to drive as we hear it will be, even though it is an EV. That's not everyone's favorite. It certainly looks good. It's got the new design language, and overall, I think Audi is really starting to turn things around, and it'll take a little while for that to show up, on the sales charts and so forth. But I think if I was an Audi salesman or a general manager at a dealership, I'd be pretty excited to see what I see now. We've gone through some rough times. To have a new Q7, a Q9, an A6 Allroad, and an RS5 sitting on my lot. That's pretty exciting. I think that gets people in, right? Park those on the front lawn. That's going to get people to come in and stop at your dealership, and maybe they just buy an A3. Maybe they wouldn't have even stopped before if it wasn't for that beautiful red RS5 sitting out on the lawn. Is Audi perfect? Are they all the way back? Is it going to be a banner sales year in 2026 or even 2027? Probably not. However, I think there's really some strong signs out there that Audi is really turning the corner, and they're gonna win some enthusiasts back and get some new ones as well. So it's exciting to watch between their racing efforts. Formula One, they're embracing their history a little bit with the Lucca. They're going with some bold new things like the Volare and the RS5. And even with the A6 Allroad, they could have made that a much more conservative looking wagon, right? But they didn't. So I think all those things, point to brighter days ahead for the Audi enthusiasts and for Audi themselves. I think eventually that is going to really help turn sales around and get the company back to where it needs to be. We'll see. But we're encouraged here and looking forward to driving all these new models and reporting on them for you and sharing our thoughts and opinions on each of them. With that, we will wrap up this episode. As a reminder, be sure to visit AudiClubNA.org for all the latest stories, news posts, and everything else related to the Audi brand. If you're not yet a member of the world's largest Audi community, we invite you to learn more about our club. You could find more information in the video description below. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next time.